Actually, I haven't seen any of the MCU Spider-Man movies at all, and it's crazy too because Spider-Man, at least in video games, is one of my favorite heroes. Unfortunately, I haven't even read the Spider-Man comics. I want to, but I'm just not sure where to start. And some of them are very outdated because it came out in what in the 1960s, and you know the 1960s Spider-Man was like more corny apparently. I don't know, man. That's why I prefer more one-off comics like Watchmen or Bone. Because yeah, yeah. Sorry for clickbaiting you. I mean, the only Spider-Man movies I've seen is the Sam Raimi trilogy, and I thought those were fun to watch. I even have a I even like Spider-Man 3. Yep. Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, regarding the MCU, I've only seen Black Panther and the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy video game that came out in I think 2021. That's a really good game. It looks bad, but then when you actually play it, you actually see how well written it is. And yeah, the gameplay is pretty repetitive, but it's not that long of a game too. Too bad it didn't sell that well because that's probably why there's not going to be a sequel for it. I mean, with the MCU, my thing is I don't feel like marathoning a bunch of 2 or 3 hour movies that I hear range in quality. Like even before the MCU apparently went bad, there were already some bad MCU movies. Like I hear that Hulk movie wasn't that good, and that Thor: Love and Thunder movie, I hear that was pretty bad. I've only seen clips of the MCU. I hear that Thanos is one of the coolest villains ever, and I've seen every clip of revolving around Thanos, and that's awesome. But uh, I just don't feel like watching in the entire MCU, man. I actually, I actually did buy uh, the MCU Spider-Man movies. Brand New Day, No Way Home, Homecoming. I just haven't watched them yet. I'm pretty sure they're fun to watch. Although people on YouTube they do bitch about those movies for some reason. I don't know why. Because apparently, I think the common argument that I hear is that the MCU Spider-Man movies are like quote unquote badly written or something like that, and I'm like, well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man is a pretty dumb concept, to be honest. I mean, even the MC. I mean, even the I almost call I almost call the Sam Raimi movies an MCU. Even the Sam Raimi movies, I would not say are like masterpieces. They're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong; they are fun and they are good movies. But if you expect me to call the Sam Raimi movies masterpieces, you're out of your freaking mind. Even Spider Man Two, I feel like is a good movie, but it's not like one of the best movies ever. It's not even in my top 50. Like when I think of a movie that could be considered a masterpiece, something comes to what comes to my mind would be like Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Porco Rosso. There's this Spanish animated film called Wrinkles. That's a very sad movie about elderly people and dealing with dementia, and it's animated, and it came out in Spain. There's an English dub for it if you're curious. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, When the Wind Blows. That's another great movie. Grave of the Fireflies. I think when I watch the MCU Spider-Man trilogy, I'll go in with low expectations because I mean, I hear the action scenes are especially cool. I just named like when I like a bunch of movies I consider masterpieces. I named just a bunch of Japanese films. What about American ones? Kill Bill 1 and 2. That those movies are awesome and they're great. Django Unchained, 12 Years a Slave. And that the 12 Years a Slave probably has it's a horror movie in my opinion because it has the most realistic depiction of slavery and how miserable it is, and it's based on a true story. You can actually you can actually go online or go on YouTube and listen to the 12 Years a Slave audiobook because the thing about the book is that the movie's great, but the book goes into even more detail. In fact, there are some things that the movie had to change for pacing reasons. For like, if you've seen 12 Years a Slave, there's a moment where oh my goodness, I can't remember his name right now. Where Platt, I hate calling him that. That's not his real name. We know where the slave Platt ends up beating a slave master, and in the movie, he beats the slave master. Another slave watcher comes and stops the situation, but he can't really punish the slave because he's someone else's property. So then the other slave master that got beaten comes along with his friends and tries to hang Platt. In the book, it wasn't that immediate. And after Platt beat up that guy, he was actually still hanging around him for about several weeks, and it was very uncomfortable because Platt could tell that this guy wanted to really kill him. Also, Edwin Epps in the book, he actually had children. In the movie, he's presented as like a single father, or not. Why do I call him a single father? He's actually presented as a single person with no kids. And in the book, his son would actually beat the slaves, and Edwin Epps would like encourage it. So yeah, yeah, the audio book is interesting to listen to. What else? Schindler's List. I think that's a really good movie. You know, uh, I just like that part at the end of Schindler's List where Schindler starts crying because he wanted to save more people, and he did save a lot of people, but he could have saved more, and that's where he starts to break down and cry because he could have done more if he, but it was already too late. Great movie, really great performances. Let's see, other masterpiece movies. I watched 2001 Space Odyssey. I didn't like it that much. I thought it was boring. Like the opening part with the prehistoric stuff, that was cool. The part where the AI goes out of control and tries to, kill the crew, that was cool. But everything else about the movie, not for me. It's boring. Full Metal Jacket. That's another movie I love. And the cool thing about Full Metal Jacket is that it works both ways. If you hate the military for whatever reason, if you just hate the U.S. military, good news. The movie shows off the problems with the U.S. military and how horrible it is. And hey, if you actually like the U.S. military for whatever reason, then good news. The movie also shows off a lot of stuff that people in the military can relate to. Uh, yeah, yeah. I remember when I was in basic training. I would talk. Well, I wouldn't talk to them. I would overhear certain people like civilians and drill sergeants who would talk about how they watch Full Metal Jacket every time there's new trainees coming in, because that movie, it does depict basic training pretty accurately. Although in Full Metal Jacket, it's about the Marines, and they didn't show off the part where there's a swim course. Although I'm not sure if that was a thing back in the 1960s, but yeah, part of being a Marine is that you have to swim. I'm a U.S. Army soldier, so I can't swim, so that's why I joined the Army. Plus, Marines are way more crazy than the Army. At least their training is. Air Force, I hear that's like summer camp. Anyway, any other movies I consider masterpieces from the West? There are a lot of them. I just woke up. My brain's a little fuzzy. Uh, oh, Pixar, they got some pretty good movies. Inside Out, that movie, I thought it was great at first, but when I rewatch it now, it just comes off as good. But people are like, Pixar's gone downhill nowadays, and I'm like, bro, Pixar's been going downhill since the movie Cars came out back in the 2000s. Like, I looked at Wikipedia like a month ago and looked at what Pixar movies came out in the 2010s, and there it is like a major mixed bag because Pixar released some horrible movies in the 2010s, like Monsters University or Cars 2. Yeah, I know people like Monsters University. I like it too, but even I know for Pixar standards, that movie's pretty freaking mid. And anyway, I saw the list of Pixar movies that came out in the 2010s. I'm like, you think Pixar's gone downhill nowadays? They've always been making mixed movies. The only time Pixar was at peak was before they made Cars 2. Even then, A Bug's Life freaking sucks.